but that you're taking
We want to
something
get
with
to the
you.
meat of the
And I hope
show.
what you're taking with
Hey,
you
good
is that
morning. Good morning on
reminder
YouTube and Facebook and
that
Twitter. Getting
you
ready to
need
get
to
this
slow
Sunday
down
Critical live
and make time for
on
yourself
Breakfast
and
with
make
Champions, the
time
Ramon
for
Ray
that
Show. Getting
clarity.
ready to start the
And
show
I
in about
love
3
Glenn's Morning Five,
minutes.
but having some
Those of you
practice
who are
that you
live
do
streaming
every
on
single day
Facebook and
to
Twitter and
really
LinkedIn, you're hearing the voice of Larissa Harrington,
prioritize what's important for you
who's a
so that
burnout
you can make sure
specialist.
that you're taking aligned action every single
I'll be
day.
coming to you on
And
Instagram in
as
a bit.
always, if you
Thanks for
ever need
joining.
any
Thought you wanted
support
to
with that,
see
please
behind
feel
the
free to reach out.
stage,
But
behind
I
the
appreciate you
scenes
all being
as
here,
I go
sharing
live
in
for
this
90
practice.
minutes.
And I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. And Ramon, are you up next?
Hey, Larissa, I am up next. One of our hosts, Alexander, he wasn't feeling so well today, so I'm stepping in. Larissa, that was absolutely amazing. If you don't mind, if you have two or 3 minutes, how are you feeling, Larissa? What's going on in the world of Larissa Harrington, who's a strengths trainer physically, who's a strengths trainer for the mind, who has her family? What's going on with the amazing Larissa Harrington? Tell us.
Aw, thank you, Ramon. I am doing amazing. I just got back from an event and it was nice to focus on being at the event away from my family and then to come back and this weekend be focused on my family. And as you know, I always talk about health, family relationships, and that we're prioritizing all of them, but also not feeling guilty when we are away from our family. I know you travel a lot as well. And so, how can we show up and be committed and have uh, that intentional time and show up with presence wherever we are? So that's
Yeah.
what I try to do.
No,
Yeah.
that is so true, Larissa. And I think that I've gone through that for sure. And one thing I found, I'd love to get your feedback on this, is that just when I explain to my family why I'm doing what I'm doing, I think that's very important. Again, I have no problem going away, but it's nice, especially if there's smaller kids around or a spouse, et cetera. Hey, here's why I'm doing it and showing them. Any tips or things you have on that? That's one thing I've done. What have you done to help for yourself and for your family to understand this is why mom is away for 2 or 3 days or whatever it is? What do you say?
Yeah, I love that so much. And I'll just share a couple of different examples. I think sometimes doing two things at one time can be helpful. Like if I go for a walk and I enjoy going for a walk and I'm doing it with my family and I'm also getting that quality time. So for me, it's like focusing on my health and my relationships at the same time. And that's a positive thing because neither is taking away from the other. The other example of that is there's been times when I've been traveling for an event or something, and I've wanted to bring my daughter. My daughter wants to go with me, and my husband's like, "No, you're going there to focus on your business. Don't bring her as a distraction because then you're going to be focused on your energy is going to be split. So you go do what you need to do for your business, and then come home and be present with your daughter." And I love that he supports me in that way, but also I think just for anyone else who might be struggling with that same thing, when we're really clear about why we're doing what we're doing, and then we don't have to feel that guilt about, oh no, I'm not with my family right now, or I feel guilty because I'm going to the gym and I'm not working on my business right now. Right? We have to realize why all of those things are important so that when we're doing each of them, we can be fully present and we can really remember our why.
Absolutely. Larissa Harrington, thank you so much. One more time, Larissa, tell us how we can find you, how we can reach you, and just remind us again who you serve. You bring so much amazement to the world. I get amazement just by watching your feeds when you post, I think, daily. Somebody needs to hear this, seeing you work out. I sit on my couch every morning, Larissa, with a bag of Doritos and chips and a Coca-Cola, and I watch you work out. Literally, I sweat. I just get tired watching you lift weights, and that's my workout. But Larissa, tell us how we can reach you. And I'm joking. Tell us how we
I
can
know
reach
you're
you, Larissa.
joking because I think you go walking just as much as I
I
do. I know Ramon
do.
will be like, I'm not walking
Yeah.
right now.
I do a good walk and I do my push-ups, my pull-ups. Yeah, I get it on too. But yeah, Larissa, tell us how we can reach you.
Yeah, thanks, Ramon. I am strong by nature wellness on most platforms and my website as well. And I work with successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and executives who are really passionate about making a positive impact in the world. And they also want to make sure that they're not sacrificing their health and relationships while they are doing meaningful work in the world. So if
I
you know
love it.
anybody like that, well, I would love to support them.
Indeed, and Larissa, there's so many people I know you know this that I know I come across and I say you need to call Larissa Harrington, like the Superwoman, like a cave, like a not cave, the Superman that went to the phone booth, yeah, that kind of thing. So Larissa Harrington, thanks for being here. Check out her website, check out her profile as we migrate and move. And again, everybody, welcome to Breakfast with Champions. Thank you so much. Let me know on the Instagram side if you can hear the sound of my voice. Do a yeah in there. Let me know in the comments. Good. Danette is here. Thanks for being here as we live stream across multiple platforms, and of course, good morning to the Clubhouse audience as we carry the room here. Alexander Gonzalez could not join us this morning, not feeling so well, so I'm stepping in for him today. Good to see you, Dr. Jeannie and TM and Renee, Nor, Christine, and Mary Lynn. Congratulations on your upcoming podcast. Sarah's here. Dora Maria, whose book I have right beside me. Tina and Jeff and Core. And thank you, Core, by the way, Core Element. Follow Core Element. Thank you, Core Element, for your music and your songs. Kimish, good to see you. I said Kimish. Kim, it's good to see you. And William and Ramona and Tim Hunt. Dr. Fred, check your email, brother. Russell's here. Richard's here. Monty's here. Tasha, Sonia, Aiden, Jolanda, and more. And what I told you, Dr. Fred, was if you're available, love to have you join me in a few minutes here, about 20 minutes or so, Dr. Fred, if you're available to talk more about what you do and who you are, especially in the realm of your worthy and book publishing. Would love to have you here. And if you are available about 7:30, just say, yo, Ramon, this is Dr. Fred. I'm here. So good morning, Jess Stern on the LinkedIn side. We have about 90 minutes or less together, and today's going to be an amazing episode where I have several segments here. We'll have a live engagement on the Clubhouse side, and we are indeed going to have a good time today. One thing I do want to touch on is the power of email marketing. Well, let me tell you what the full show is going to be like today. One, it's going to be about the power of email marketing. Two, I'm going to touch on BWC Dallas, the event we're having in Dallas. Going to talk about Kim Walsh Phillips' new book that is coming out in sometime April, I believe it is April 13th. We're going to talk about the TikTok president, Mr. Chu. Yeah, we're going to get a little political. We're going to touch on email marketing, celebrity CEO blueprint, attention, trust, sales. I have some special authors that I have with me there in this office. Not physically, but their books are here. We're going to go over that. And then I'm going to touch on BWC featured and more. But I'm glad you're here with me today as you're watching this on LinkedIn. If you're watching this on Facebook as well, don't forget to authenticate yourself with StreamYard so that I can see who you are. Let's dive into the show right now. One day I'm going to get all fancy and have music, but today I'm not. Just a reminder, one thing about community is so important. We are gathering together in Dallas. The second, or it could be the third, depending on how you count it. Hey, Prince, I never yet. The second one was, I think, Grow for God conference. We were all there some time ago. And then there's the New York City BWC event. And we're having our Dallas event, Champions Business Conference. And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing, I believe, which is about gathering together. Yes, it's about the event itself. Brought to you by, I'm doing this in conjunction with Trevor Houston of the Who You Know Show and Celebrity CEO. We have some amazing speakers who are going to be there. But what's really amazing about the Champions Business Conference is about how it brings together people. I love you, Charity C. Have a good day. It's my daughter heading off to school. People love to be together. People love to gather together and hug each other's necks, shake each other's hands, give each other a high five. This is an important part of the human experience that you just can't fight or get away from. The aspect of being together. This is one reason why church is important for me. Yes, most important, it's to worship and be with God and celebrate my faith. Absolutely. But let's face it, the other part of the reason I go to church is indeed for the fellowship. So when I think of the Champions Business Conference coming up here in Dallas, Texas, April 13th and 14th, I'm excited to see people, some people who I may never have met before, some people who I want to see again, right? Some people who I can't wait to learn from. Some people who have said yes to me, like Yvonne Kistner, who led Avocados from Mexico campaign. She's the vice president of marketing. She said yes to me. I haven't even met her. We just know each other from LinkedIn. But I think of people like Kim Walsh Phillips, and I could say so many others who are going to be there. What an amazing event it's going to be. But the key thing, and kudos to you, Stars Tina, girl, you are like a tribal builder. When Tina rolls into the room, she brings a crew. So shout out to you, Queen, for that. But when I think about events like this, it's about the community. And the other thing I think about when I do events like this is the aspect of trust. Me and Trevor Houston have been doing this event together. Do you know what trust we have to have each other to do this? We got money going into one account. We got hosting going, people hosting a room. We got things where judgments we're making and decisions we're making. When you feel that vibe of somebody, that person you trust, that person that's vulnerable, that's transparent, that person you can work with, kind of like your ride or die, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And this is what the conference is like. Christina Howard has risen her hand and said, Ramon, yes, I'll roll with you again. Christina's been rolling with me for about a year now, doing a variety of things with me. And she said, Ramon, I'll help you with this event as well. So it's amazing when you produce event. If you haven't done an event before, you don't know how challenging it is to do an event. You got the stage or not, lighting or not. Do you have video or not? Do you have photos? Do you get the badges? Do you get the food? Do you get the tickets? Do you get the hotel? Do you get the room? Do you get the agenda? Do you get the speakers? Do you get the graphics? Do you get the marketing? Do you get the logo? Woo! It's a lot to do an event. And most people don't know what it takes. Renee Noor, I know she does events, and a few others really put their own dollars behind and do an event. Most don't. We attend events, but we don't know what it's like to do an event. And it takes a lot of work. And as Elijah Bowie says, if you don't know Elijah, definitely follow him. Elijah Bowie, Bowie. Man, he talks about building an irresistible event. Dre Baldwin said, Ramon, why are the tickets so cheap? Well, I don't know why they're so cheap, but I wanted to do an event that would make sure that none of the BWC community had no inhibition to attend. And we're on track. I believe we'll have about 100 people at that event by April 13th and 14th. People keep registering every single day. BWC Dallas, BWCdaily.com/Dallas. Karen's here. What's up, Karen? Good morning to see you here on the Facebook side. Kyle is here. Good morning to see you, Kyle, on the LinkedIn side. Jeff Stern is here. Good to see you on the Instagram side. And I already mentioned Danette is here as well. So I'm excited about the Champions Business Conference. And the other thing that's interesting about this is that when you do an event with people that know you, you better do the event right. After this event, if we do this event wrong, people are going to be talking. People are going to be talking like, oh my God, Ramon and Trevor did a busted event. We are never going back to an event they do again. Health Well, so wishing I could attend next time. Renee, thanks for tweeting that out. Dora, thanks for putting that event in there. Appreciate it so, so much. And indeed, what an amazing session that Larissa Harrington had indeed. So that's the BWC Daily, BWC Dallas event. BWCdaily.com, BWCdaily.com/Dallas23. If you want an event which is going to teach you about sales, teach you about marketing, teach you about networking, where you can hear from the person who put together the avocados from Mexico campaign, Amberly. Amberly Legaro is going to be speaking. I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but she has an amazing, huge tribe as well. She'll be speaking there. Kim Walsh Phillips will be speaking there, and more. So that's enough on that. The BWC Dallas event at bwcdaily.com/Dallas23. Dora is there and more. And by the way, I have Dora's book here. Just wanted to give you all a little reminder. If you have a child that you want to uplift, a child that's need to feel special, a child that needs to be affirmed, and especially if you have trouble sharing those words, even if you don't, you definitely want to check out You Are Beautiful. Some real simple words that affirm and help children. You are strong. You are kind. I am kind. You are healthy. I am healthy. You are safe. You are brave. You are loved. You are capable. You only compete with yourself. You have a voice. You can get through anything. You can solve any problem. I am healthy and strong. You are enough. You are thankful. And it goes on. You are thankful for those around you. You are uniquely you. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I hope you check that book out and get that. Thank you, Kyle, for your good words. Kyle says, or Kylie or Kyle, I love the passion you display when speaking. It's inspiring. Thank you so much, Kyle Wooten. I appreciate that. All right, next part of our segment today, Kim Walsh Phillips as well has a brand new book coming out. I mentioned that before. I'm going to show that book here if I can get to it here. Brand new book coming out on Amazon, and her book is called The Shift: Scale Your Business and Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You. This is important, and Kim Walsh Phillips has talked about this so many times. I encourage you to check that book out. I've ordered my copy. Amazing headline: Scale your business and multiply your wealth without sacrificing you. Is that even attainable? Is that even attainable to scale a business and multiply wealth without sacrificing you? That is a triple thing. Scale your business. Okay, got it. Multiply your wealth. Got it. But the third part, without sacrificing you. And I think Kim Walsh recognizes that to do that, it does require a shift. It requires a shift to scale the business, multiply wealth without sacrificing you. Can it be done? I'm going to pause here in about 5 minutes, 7:20, when to get some input from the clubhouse side and hear your voices on this. And if you have nothing to say, no problem at all. But I will hear your voices on this. Thank you, Coach Mercy. And IG says, powerful it is. How do we do that? Well, I must say, part of it is a new way of thinking. If we're going to scale, if we're going to multiply wealth, but not sacrifice our business, because we know many people scale their businesses by getting into lots of debt. Many people scale their businesses by forsaking their families. Many people scale their businesses by going just absolutely bonkers. But Kim Walsh Phillips is saying there has to be another way. And if you're hearing the sound of my voice, feel free to take a screenshot of that and share that out. If you're watching this on video, Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, take a screenshot of that right now and let Kim know that you're hearing her, and let you know that you're going to buy her book to learn. And it's also as a memento, a lot of what she shared you can get online, but the book packing it all and news stories in there. So how do we do that? Well, Kim Walsh has several things she talks about, but one, I must say, getting that customer. Do you have the right customer? Are you serving their needs? Do you know what they want? What does your customer want? What don't they want? Are you serving them what they want? Are you in the way they want? Are you going after your existing customers and having them buy from you? If you're not doing that, that's why either your business is not growing or it's not growing the way it is. Now, business is not easy. As I grow BWC, it's not easy. There's roadblocks, there's challenges, there are difficulties. I'm having to morph and navigate just even growing this own platform here, BWC Daily. When I think about zoneofgenius.com, it's not easy. It's a startup. My other company, zoneofgenius.com, how I'm growing that or how I'm not growing that, who I hire, who I don't hire, it's not easy. As I grow the celebrityceo.com brand, it's not easy. But I've invested into growing myself and being a better leader for myself so that I can grow my team and all can rise to the occasion. This is important. About 3 minutes, we'll open up discussions on the clubhouse side. Briefly, before I go on, I want to get your input on scaling, on wealth building, on growth, on that shift that maybe some of you have had to do, or that shift that maybe you're resisting doing. But I encourage you to check out Kim Walsh Phillips' book. I encourage you to sign up for it now. Get it on pre-order so when it comes, you're one of the first to get it. But is this something for you? Do you have to make the shift? I'm going to talk in a few other later in the segment about some shifts I've had to make in my own business. And again, as you're watching this, whatever platform you are, hit the share button, put a comment, let people know you should be listening to this. If what I'm saying is helping you, if what I'm saying is resonating with you, share it out. If it's not, please don't share it out. And in fact, if it's not resonating with you, you should just leave. No problem. But the shift is important. And oftentimes it's not the shift in Facebook ads. Oftentimes it's not the shift in how we're posting. Oftentimes it's not the shift in how we're doing video. Oftentimes it's not the shift in getting a better mic. Oftentimes it's not the shift in getting a better, I was going to say better coffee. That reminds me. Yeah, we don't want to have a shift in coffee. We don't want to do that. That's not a good thing. That right there is some purified, authentic, straight from Ramon's kitchen, Cafe Bustelo right there. Never make the shift in the coffee you have. Never, never, never. You can make the shift on everything else, but you don't have to give up the type of coffee you have. God bless America. See, now I'm going to a whole other topic. All right, listen, on the clubhouse side, join me. Who wants to unmic? And join me here briefly just to talk about what I've shared about just now, that shift that sometimes we think we got to shift everything in our business, but oftentimes it's the mindset, as Larissa talks quite a bit about. Anybody want to join me? If not, no problem, unmic.
Ramon, I do. This is Danette, the strategy.
Danette, the mic is all yours.
Listen, let me tell you, it is so real when we talk about shifting and pivoting. As a mompreneur myself, it would surprise most of you how I ran from serving other mompreneurs. So why did I do that? Because I thought they were just like me. They didn't have money like I didn't have money. They couldn't do some of the things I did. And I went into business to make money. And then the Lord reminded me of why He put me where He put me. One was to be transparent. Two is because I know their pain points. You're one. I'm a mother of five and a grandmother of five and two granddogs. How dare you decide that you want to put a stamp of where you think you should be when I specifically told you to be there, to show up, to build the business, to do the things that I told you to do, and watch me grow you. So I understand exactly what you're saying. I remember running, and now I'm openly, actively operating in, speaking to her, telling her, listen, I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed, but I want to help you put your business on rinse and repeat instead of stop and start. And ever since I surrendered to that, things have really, truly been totally going in a space that I never expected. This is Danette, the strategy lady, and I'm just going to land my plane on that. I want to thank you so much for your energy and what you bring to me every time I hear you.
Oh, Danette, thank you so much. That was amazing, Danette. And 5 children and 3 grandchildren, did you say?
5 and 5.
5 and 5. God bless you, Danette. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being such an amazing voice in the Breakfast with Champions platform. Before I go to the next segment, who wants to join me in the club outside? On mic, say your name.
Hey, Ramon.
Hey,
It's
Pastor Jeff, it's
Pastor
all
Jeff.
you.
I just want to say, if you have not tried Ethiopian coffee, you might want to make the shift. Back to you, Ramon.
Now, just so I understand, Pastor Jeff, because we took a lot of surveys, and Ramon is one of the slowest people on the B2BC platform. Ethiopian coffee, does that come from Colombia? Is it Cafe Bustelo? Just so I wasn't sure if I heard you
No,
correctly.
Ethiopia. It comes from Ethiopia. That's why
You
it's
see.
Ethiopian coffee.
Yeah.
And
See.
you might want to make that shift.
Yeah.
You want Pastor Jeff to send you a bag?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I can do that. But thank you, Pastor. But see. Okay, let's take a vote right now. We'll just take a vote on the IG side. If Ramon should even taste Ethiopian coffee, put an E in the chat on the Instagram side. On the LinkedIn side, put an E in the chat. And on the Clubhouse side, put an E in the chat. If Ramon should stick to his beloved Cafe Bustelo, put a C in the chat. Oh, my Lord. The votes coming in, Pastor Jeff. The votes are coming in. I feel like Biden and Trump election happening right now all over again, Pastor Jeff. See, you done it, Pastor Jeff. Oh, my Lord, Pastor Jeff. See, you vote. You can't vote, Pastor Jeff. You can't vote for yourself.
You didn't say I couldn't vote. I'm supposed to vote for myself, right?
That's true,
All
that's true.
politicians vote for themselves, Ramon.
All right. Ashley, the IG side said E. All right. We'll see, Pastor Jeff. I may do that. All right. Who's next after Ramon tastes of Ethiopian coffee? One more share, and then we'll move on. And then we'll have some more shares throughout the whole segment. But one more share who wants to share about this mindset shift that is so important. Anything else you want to bring in, especially on the Clubhouse side? Let me wait 10 seconds here. All right, it wasn't quite 10 seconds. I sped it up because Larissa, I couldn't wait that long. I couldn't bring myself to do that. So I had to speed it up some. All right, let's move on to more segments here. Again, everybody, just to reset this room or do a little commercial break. This is Breakfast with Champions. My name is Ramon Ray. We have live programming 5 a.m. just about every single day. We've newly been on Twitter Spaces. Glenn Lundy led us there. You can follow the BWC Twitter handle. We are BWC Live. You can follow my personal Twitter handle, Ramon Ray, and you can check out a lot of the things we're doing. We do our best to keep up with all this at bwcdaily.com, bwcdaily.com, and I join you to do a /Dallas23 to join us live in Dallas, April 13th and 14th. We've just been talking about coming to BWC Daily, talking about Kim Walsh-Phillips' new book, The Shift, Scale Your Business and Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You. I do suggest all of you run out and buy that book today. And while you're at it, by the way, if you haven't had a copy of Celebrity CEO, I do suggest you go on Amazon as well. And after you buy Kim's book, look up Celebrity CEO Ramon Ray, and you can buy my 5th book. I probably have another book I'll be doing. I wanted to touch on
Ramon,
please.
what's up, brother? It's Justin.
Good
It
to
is
hear you.
there's far too many people on stage for it to be this quiet, in my opinion, my man. Stage is for speaking, not for squatting, but I will contribute one thing. The gap between what is required and what will actually make you successful is massive. A lot of people in my industry would love to showcase a life of what it looks like to be an amazing real estate agent, like you're on Selling Sunset. But I promise you, maybe 1% to 2% of them will actually do the work that is required, the stuff that you don't want to do so that you can do the thing that you want to do. So I appreciate you, brother, and I'm motivated to kill it today. Thanks to you.
Oh, Justin, I appreciate you, man. I cannot wait to hug your neck. You know that, Justin. One thing I want to say, Justin, I'll just tell you, here's what Ramon is going through right now, Justin. I've not been a numbers person historically, even though God has blessed me to have some success in life and starting companies, selling companies. And you can probably word this better than I can, Justin. So tell me if this makes sense. But I think Glenn or others said you can get pretty far, with a smile and pushing forward, something like that. That's been kind of my journey. But Justin, I'm putting spreadsheets together. I'm having a team meeting in about 1 hour where we're going to declaring numbers. I'm going to be working things backwards, talking about our goals. Justin, that's what I've not done before. So talking about doing the work and things like this, Ramon's in that boat. I'm like, you know what? If I want to level up this year, and do some more wealth building things I want to do. The one thing that I haven't done, Justin, is put numbers down. The things like if we want to be at 5 million, that means we have to get this many leads, this many contacts, this many this. I'm not, or 2 million or 500,000, whatever the number may be. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say, Justin? Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Everything is art and math, right? So I'm going to read you something. I have a town hall meeting I run for my team every single Monday. This morning, this is what I'm going to say. Exactly what I said to this room, because I think it's important to hear that. But then I'm going to say, do you have your goals written down? Do you know what activities will lead to your goals? And are you doing those activities? I've built my business on more of the art side, where my wife was definitely the math side, but we are at the point in our business too, where we've remargined over the last year and we're looking for efficiencies of scale, right? So I did a lot through just sheer energy. But I think once you start realizing what daily activities you're actually doing versus what you think you're doing, it's shocking how much opportunity there is out there. But I think people they're really scared to write down the goals, and their ego makes them feel away if they're not tracking the activities that they know they should be doing, right? When in reality, nothing is inherently good or bad. If I only did 10 reach outs today, that's okay. I got an opportunity to do more tomorrow and more tomorrow and more tomorrow. Like, I'm not a failure because I didn't hit my exact activity every single day. Like, I only hit my structure 70% of the time, but my 70% is still better than 95% of the world.
I love that, Justin. And by the way I'm streaming you, somebody, the strategy lady says, yes, Justin, taking a look at your daily activities and prioritize them. Justin, we are streaming across a lot of platforms. And what I'm doing is I mute myself and I lift my speaker button loud so people are hearing it through the ambient noise. But Justin, as you said, man, you got to declare it. You got to declare it and not let the fear get in your way. And thank you, Justin, for being here. Justin Conoco is an amazing host on BWC. Everyone follow him. If you're not on Clubhouse and you don't see his picture, if you just look up Justin Conoco Real Estate. I guarantee you'll find Justin Conoco, the guy in Ottawa. That's the guy to follow. Guy who often wears a vest, has a beautiful beard at times as well. So you want to follow that guy. Justin, thanks for being on the stage. And sometimes I get it. I hear even my fellow host, you'll be engaging sometimes. Do this action, do this action. I don't do it because, Justin, I'm eating, I'm doing something. I don't feel like it. I'm multitasking and I'm like, bruh. So it doesn't bother me that people don't engage so often. No problem. Justin Conoco, thanks for being here, man. He has his segments on Fridays. Next thing I wanted to touch on, and Dr. Fred Jones, let me know if you're available. You can just unmic and say, yo, Ramon, Dr. Fred's here. And if not, it's no problem. Then I'm going to...
Yo, Ramon, Dr. Fred is here.
Okay. In that case, Dr. Fred, we will pause on the TikTok. I wanted to bring you in if you're available. And if you're not available, are you available to chat with me for about a few minutes, 5-10 minutes or so?
I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to say Dr. Fred Jones, an amazing human that I've gotten to know being on the now named Celebrity CEO coaching program. And that's celebrityceo.com/coaching. Some things we're growing and doing. But he's a worthologist specializing at long career and doing a number of amazing things. But today specializing in helping people monetize and publish. He probably says it better, their book. And book publishing is one thing that I find very important, as Dr. Fred knows, and others who have been with me in the Celebrity CEO coaching, in the stack of getting attention and building trust for your brand and sharing your message. So I just want to know, Dr. Fred, I know it's impromptu, but can you first, just kind of recap who you are, recap how we can reach you, but can you just share a bit, some top level tips that you share about this aspect of book publishing, worthology, or whatever's on your heart? I would just love to hear your message of the day. The mic's yours. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Ramon. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm a worthologist, and you might say, what's a worthologist, Dr. Fred? A worthologist is one who believes your value is unlimited, your worth is without measure, but your price is what you're willing to accept. You say, well, what did you come up with that? I came up with that because I've heard a lot about people that struggle with self-worth or self-esteem. So it occurred to me one day that we all can write our worth. And when that occurred to me, it happened one day as a Miss America was at a meetup in Atlanta, and the question was posed to Miss America: what is your biggest challenge with being Miss America? The young lady had the crown on her head. She said, feeling unworthy. And I was like, whoa, that can't be. And I left there saying, wow. And that's how the concept came, worthology or worthologist. Now, what that has to do with publishing? When you write your worth, you put it on paper. Publishing is the act of preaching. To preach means to proclaim or to publish. And when you are a publisher, you control the rights. A lot of people say, well, I own 100% of my copyright. You may own it, but if you're not the publisher, you don't control it. So that's a big difference. And as a lawyer, one of the things that I know is possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So I hear a lot of people talk about that, writing books and publishing books. But the question is, are you the publisher? And the publisher is the controller. What the author or the writer gives the publisher is a license. And that license is permission to use. And it all depends on how long that license is, determines the duration of that agreement. And oftentimes this is a little tip that's overlooked or misunderstood sometimes. So I'm devoted to helping people write their worth by learning how to publish. Ramon, have I done what you asked me to do, sir?
Oh man, you done so well. We got the IG audience here. I'm streaming live. Your words are going out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And lastly, Dr. Fred, maybe just help us understand, how do we start? I'll just say full disclosure. There's two ways you can do this. You can do a lot of this yourself, which I encourage people to do in some version, hire people, get people, writers and editors, and I'll walk people through it. You can do it yourself. And I encourage that. I've done a lot of things myself. Or you can work with somebody like Dr. Fred. Help us understand, Dr. Fred, how we start. Meaning, if someone works with you, give us the 3 steps, working with you or not, if you get what I mean. Like, meaning, is it getting a title down? Is it knowing your audience? Is it, let me just find a designer? And I know you can help people do all this, but just give us a high level. Somebody's like, you know what? I got a book inside me. What are the 3 things they may want to start thinking of even before they call you? What are some things they should do, Dr. Fred? And then one more time, let us know how to reach you.
Sure. Step number 1 is to, if you want to write and you think, oh, there's a writer in me. Number 1, start writing. Okay, just write down whatever you want to write down. Number two, we hear a whole lot of rhetoric about this little company called Amazon. I'm not an affiliate of Amazon. I don't get paid by Amazon. I don't market for Amazon. Amazon just happens to be the largest bookstore in the world, and oftentimes it's misunderstood. But if you want to get started as a publisher, start yourself. Go to kdp.amazon.com and publish the book for free. You are not only the publisher, you're not only the author and the writer, you're the publisher. So number one, write it down. Number two, establish your own Kindle Direct Publishing account. It's the largest bookstore on the planet, okay? Like it or not, it is what it is. And number three, take time and learn self-publishing from a legal perspective, or else you'll be like the people of the 60s and the 70s and the Motown group who had all this creativity and somebody else owned it and controlled it. Say it again. Take time to learn self-publishing legally. Ramon, that's my suggestion.
Dr. Fred, you are absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I've learned so much from you over the period of time we've been together. And I appreciate you very much. Everybody, that was Dr. Fred Jones. Oh, Dr. Fred, did you leave your link and all that? Did you leave how to reach you? Just to remind me. And somebody in the IG chat saying that's exactly how I uploaded my first book. Awesome. Dr. Fred, just one more time, tell us how you can reach you. If you did that, forgive me. Just say it again.
No, not a problem. drfredjones.com. drfredjones.com. And if you want to talk to me about strategy around that, /strategy. drfredjones.com. If you want to talk to me, put a / there and drop strategy, and that'll get you on my calendar. Thank you, Ramon.
You're welcome. I appreciate Dr. Fred Jones. Dr. Fred Jones is a credible man that I've been having the pleasure of hanging with for several weeks now in the Celebrity CEO Coaching Program. So thank you, Dr. Fred Jones, for being here with me. I'm streaming live on IG. What's up to my IG audience? Streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and more. And, of course, streaming into our Clubhouse platform. Not doing it on Twitter Spaces yet. That would just take me way too confused. But this is all precipitated. Just one more time before I go to my next segment, talking about Kim Walsh-Phillips' book is coming out called The Shift: Scale Your Business and Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You. Kim Walsh-Phillips has been an amazing host, an amazing personality on this platform. She is definitely one to take note of. And of course, drfredjones.com, drfredjones.com. Definitely get into and learn from and get with Dr. Fred Jones. Moving on to another segment here. We're going to get political. We're going to go to Singapore. We're going to go to China. We're going to go to Virginia and everywhere. I don't know how many of you, but if you have, put it in the chat. Put a T for TikTok. How many of you did watch the congressional hearings with Mr. Shou Chu? I watched them after the fact. I watched them over the weekend, 5 hours of hearings. I thought it was very interesting for a few reasons. If you watch those hearings with the TikTok president, Mr. Shou Chu, put that in the chat. Put a T. Just curious if you did. I did. And there's a few lessons I learned from that as well. Michelle McLean's in the building. Good to see you here. Dana Evans is here. Come on, Dr. Fred. Dana says, and more. Yes, and Watch Dominion's here, and others are joining. This is absolutely amazing. And definitely, by the way, those of you who want to get a taste, a look at the Celebrity CEO Coaching Program, if you like what you're hearing, people like Dr. Fred Jones and more, you definitely want to look at the link in the Clubhouse chat, or just check out celebrityceo.com/coaching, celebrityceo.com/coaching. Those who want to work with Ramon, and most importantly, for free, download the Celebrity CEO Blueprint, and you can get that at celebrityceo.com/blueprint, celebrityceo.com/blueprint. All right. So what was the gentleman's name again? This was the president of TikTok, Mr. Shou Chu. I thought a few things were so interesting about his, I'll call it, performance. Lessons we can all learn. One, do you know what intense preparation he had to have to do what I thought was a pretty darn good engagement? Again, I'm not getting into the politics of this TikTok is good or bad or banned or not, owned by the Communist Party, not all those kind of things. Not going there. I'm just talking about the pure stage presence of this man. When I'm done here, I'd love to know on the Clubhouse side what you all thought, or even on the LinkedIn side or Facebook. Feel free to comment. Curious if you thought his performance was good or not. If you saw it, what you thought about it too on the IG side. Let me know what you thought about his performance if you saw it. On the Clubhouse side, if you saw it, let me know what you learned from it. If you didn't think he did well. But I thought, one, he was so well prepared. Now, there's two types of preparation that we do in life, in my humble opinion. On the spot, I called upon Dr. Fred Jones. He has inside him the knowledge. And I think that any professional who's worth their soul, as they say, should be able to speak, I think the word is extemporaneously, on the cuff about their chosen topic. I would dare say for a good 30 minutes. It could be longer, but that's my bar. As I look at my friends Larissa, I have no doubt if I pulled her out of bed in the middle of the night and said, Larissa, talk about burnout, without giving her a toothbrush, no washcloth to wash her face, she could speak 30 minutes or more about not having burnout, etc., 30 minutes straight. Because she's like that and she's a professional. T.M. Hyman, I have no doubt that he could speak about his topic of leadership and more just like that without any preparation. I have no doubt that Justin Conico, the same way, looking at my host here, Justin Conico, Dora Maria, Christina, Dr. Jean, Dr. Jeff, Stars Tina, and more, could talk about the topics that they are expert in. I have no doubt about it. Michelle McLean's here. Good to see you also. Nivea, good to see you here again, as always. This is what we do. If you're a professional, you should be able to talk about a certain broad scale of topics without much preparation. Having said that, the second preparation is where you want to bring it to perfection, or you want to be sure that you do touch on certain key points, or you don't hit certain tripwires or landmines, as could have been in the case of the TikTok president. And here's a few things I learned. One, he was very, very well prepared. He seemed to be able to anticipate so many of the questions that were thrown at him in many different ways. He seemed to be prepared of things he would not say. When it talked about his personal finances, he didn't talk about it. When it talked about his family, he limited that. When it talked about the finances of TikTok, he limited that because he kept saying, we're a private company, we're a private company. We will not disclose that. So certain things he seemed to be honed in, that he was well prepared, what he would and would not talk about. And this is a very smart man, well educated, and has the receipts of things he's built in various companies. So well prepared. I love the respect he had each time. It didn't seem like a syrupy, sarcastic type of deference. It seemed like a professionally done way. Every time somebody would ask him a question, Madam Congressperson, thank you for the question, so on and so forth. Now, a little bit, he could have been trying to run the clock out because he knows they only have a certain amount of minutes to talk. So he could have been wanting to run the clock down each time because he knows he only had 5 hours on that stage. But nevertheless, he had that respect. He always say, thank you so much for the question. He wouldn't, and he wouldn't fight or be combative, interrupt. He knew that it was the House subcommittee chairperson, the lady who had the gavel. It was her show. She was in charge of it. And so he never pushed her, never fought her. He always deferred because he knew his place. So I thought that was very interesting how those hearings took place and how prepared he was. He was careful of each and every word. And I believe he knew that at the end of the day, there were thousands of people and billions of dollars that he would be impacting that were at stake depending on what he said or didn't say. Now, if Congress bought it, if Congress believes in him, if Congress believes how they're going to be portioning off the data for U.S. citizens and et cetera, that's a whole other story. I don't know that, and that's the politics of it. But I thought it was a lesson learned for all of us. The higher the stakes, the higher we must be prepared. When I think about my marriage, am I taking it that seriously? When I think about the relationship with my children, am I taking it that seriously? When I think about the relationship with my God, am I taking it that seriously? Preparation is so important. And I think sometimes we don't prepare enough. We don't prepare enough for what we're doing. We don't prepare enough. And I beg you and I suggest to us all, preparation is part of the key of the success in life. When we don't prepare, we don't succeed as much as we could. The better prepared we are, the better it is. Now, this does not mean, as Adam Smith, U.S. Special Forces leadership expert who will be speaking at the Champions Business Conference in Dallas, April 13th and 14th, bwcdaily.com/Dallas23. Don't let perfection, however, stop you from your destination. Don't let perfection, however, stop you from being the person you should be. In a few minutes on the Clubhouse side, I'll give you a chance as well to talk about what you thought about the TikTok president's talk. And if you didn't see us talk, the aspect of being prepared and perfection. There's two sides of this. I'm a firm believer that we should be prepared. Yes. But I'm also a firm believer that we need to go forth and launch. Now, I over-index on go forth and launching probably too much. I probably should slow down a wee bit, as Lolita and Larissa talk to me about oftentimes. I should slow down more. But the one thing that some of you do way too much, you let fear and perfection stop you. You let fear and perfection keep you back. You let fear and perfection keep you from advancing. You let fear and perfection keep you from reaching the top levels you should reach, and you stay stuck. You stay stuck. When I would dare say, if you would have a little bit of mix of both, preparing but not stopping in preparation phase, because if you're stopping in preparation phase all the time, you will never move forward. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, put a P in the chat if this is resonating with you. And again, you're talking to somebody. I over-index on the opposite. I push forward too fast, and I wish I would slow down at times. It's hurt me. It's hurt me. And I need to do a better job at it. I talked about how I was taking my wife out to a Valentine's Day treat on February the 13th, day before Valentine's Day, because I had some travel coming up on February 14th. We had a wonderful, wonderful, amazing time. We had a good lunch. We had a good time on a road trip in a car. We did this, we did that. We played pool. Then we were going to go bowling. We were right at the road, right at the bowling location. And I turned and I crashed into a car. And you know what hurt most? Not the crash. It was a minor thing-ish. But my wife was in the car and she's always telling me, slow down, slow down, slow down. So you want to have a mix of both. You don't want to be too much like me, where you're speeding rapidly ahead. And you don't want to be too much on the other side, where you're never starting forward. Thank you, Tarika. Thank you, TM. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, the strategy. Thank you, Jeff. Woo! Catherine Dawes says everything you want is on the other side of fear. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Nick. Preparation is so important. All right, let me take a quick pause here. Again, I can carry this show for 4 hours straight. I'm not today. Again, our good friend Alexander was not available to be here. He wasn't feeling so well. So I stepped in for him and doing my 8 to 8:30 show as well. I hope this is useful for you. I hope you're learning. This is Breakfast with Champions. We're all about motivation, education, inspiration with a dose of positivity. Motivation, education, inspiration with a dose of positivity. Live programming starting at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here to serve you and help you live your best life or grow your business. On the Clubhouse side, again, it's no problem. Y'all could be ironing your clothes. You could be eating a tuna fish sandwich. You could be with your kids right now. You could be just tired. I don't engage all the time as well. You got some of the hosts, hey, do this in the chat. I don't respond all the time. It is no problem. But if anybody wants to unmute off Clubhouse, and again, your voice will be streamed also to my social networks. Your voice is streamed also to IG, and I promote you out to my other networks as well. But if you want to unmic and just talk about if that resonated anything with you, the aspect of preparation, the aspect of perfection, the aspect, if you saw the TikTok president, the preparation he had to have, being careful, any of that. Let me pause for 5 seconds and see anybody
Hey,
wants to join
Ramon,
me.
TM,
Hey, TM, oh, you brother.
preparation, bro. Listen, not only is everything you're saying resonates, you could definitely carry 4 hours by yourself. Listen, how scared, first of all, are we when we talk about going in front of the government, let alone Congress and the Senate, right? I mean, because they can just smash you like a fly, it seems. We've seen it done on television. But preparation eliminates anxiety, right? I did not see these hearings, but just listening to you, he was very poised and prepared. And I think a lot of times when we are very anxious, it's because we aren't prepared, right? Preparation eliminates anxiety. And you said it, right? The higher we go, the more prepared we have to be. The higher the stakes, the more prepared we have to be. And really, the less fearful we are, right? When we're prepared. And so you're spot on. Ramon also had a question for you. You're at book number 5. What was the catalyst that sparked book number 1 for those who I've only written one book, right? I have many others I prepared, started, I need to finish. But what was the catalyst for that one book that you started that led to number 5?
TM, now you're going to, I don't know why, TM, and if you have time to stay with me, but I feel like crying immediately when you've asked that question.
Go ahead and cry.
Yeah,
we got to. We got to.
I appreciate it. I don't mind crying. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why certain things trigger me. You know what I mean? Certain things just trigger me, man. But the reason why I did my first book, TM, and the reason why I did my first big event in 2006, I dreamed it in 2005, because I've always felt, TM, I've always felt like the underdog. I don't know why. Maybe it's childhood, but I've always felt like the underdog. I've always felt like the person wasn't picked. And it could have been some bullying and rejection I felt growing up. Could have been. That could be it. You know, those things linger, TM, as I know you know, and I'll hear from you in a minute here. But the reason I'm leading to my event as well, because the reason I did the first book and the reason I did my first event, TM, because all the ballers around me, X years ago, whenever it was, my page and FTP, whenever that generation was, AOL Disc was so popular, I was tired of not being picked, TM. And I'm not joking with you, playing with you. This is how I felt. I was tired of everybody else being on the top of the list, everybody else being the small business influencer, everybody else invited to go to the Inc. 5000 Awards, everybody else invited to be quoted in this magazine, everybody else invited to be done here. I was tired of it, TM, and I kid you not. So here's how I did my first book. I typed a PDF full of spelling errors and looking like bootleg crap, probably. At least it probably wasn't, but that's how I felt. It was called a Technology Resources for Growing Businesses, TM. And so then I realized all these other people, cats back in the day, had books. I'm like, I want a book. I'm like, do you think I got the time? Because you know how I said to him, right? I rush. You think I have the time to go to publishers and get them to anoint me? So I went one by one by one. Finally, TM, I found the website of Amicon, American Management Association. Somebody's name was on there, TM. Name was on there, man. And I said, listen, whatever her name was, I wrote 30 pages of a PDF already. Here's who I am. I know the material. I'm Mr. SmallBizTechnology.com. I had that website then. What more proof do I need? Why do I have to submit all these rules to you? And she took a bet on me. She took a bet on me. And that was my second book. The first one I did myself, but it was an outgrowth of the first one. I think it was called Technology Resources for Growing Businesses, TM. And that's why I did it. So maybe it wasn't the story, and I can talk about the official reason why people should consider it today. But TM, asking why Ramon did it. That's why I did it, because I was tired of not being picked. So did that make any sense, TM, what I'm trying to express?
It makes all the sense in the world. And you probably have other people crying right now on stage, Ramon, because listen, somebody needed to hear that. I needed to hear that, right? There are people in the listening lounge who needed to hear that because they're stuck because of what you just said. No one has picked them. Write your own damn book. Tell your own story. Do it today. Do it now. Back to you, Ramon.
TM, I'm so glad you're here, man. Thank you, brother. Jump in here anytime. But yes, I agree. And that goes back to the second thing, TM, why I did my first big event. In 2005, I had the vision, TM, to create my own big conference. Everybody else, quote unquote, was doing big events around that time. Big events they were doing. And I'm like jumping up like a little fish. Pick me, pick me, pick me. People didn't pick me. And TM, frankly, maybe I wasn't a good speaker. Very well it could have been. Maybe I didn't deserve it. Not in a bad way. Let's face it. Sometimes people don't like you, not because you black, not because you white, not because you Spanish. They just think you got bad breath. Let's face it. So,
Talk about it, brother. It's just a bad breath.
come on, man. So it's not always something, nefarious. It could be you're just not ready or they don't feel it fair enough. Meaning, when I do events, TM, I tend to, which for good or for bad, pick people who model me. It's just how I am. I'm more the exciting, high energy side. So somebody coming with a different, lower energy, it's just hard for my brain to capture. But let me move forward. And that's just my bias. But that's why I have a team, right, of others here. I roll with Christina and Dora and get to check on that. Hey, what do y'all think? Because they have different energy than me, right? We're all good, just different. Point being, TM, that's why in 2005, I envisioned my event. So a skinny Ramon Ray, shaved head black guy. And I met this white, older lady, thin, petite as well. Her name was Marion Banker. We were sitting having coffee, TM, and she's like, Ramon, I've always wanted to do an event. And I'm like, Marion, I always wanted to do an event. She's like, let's hook up. Let's do an event together. She brought the accounting expertise and the bookkeeping expertise, and she was the Larissa, the Lolita. She slowed me down. She was the cautious one. TM, I was the fast moving one. Listen, girl, I'm taking my credit card. I'm doing the event. We are going forward. That's why we made such a good team. And also, TM, kind of like me and Trevor Houston doing this event in Dallas, we trusted each other. And so that launched my first series, TM. I did, I think, 14 events back to back, starting in 2006, bringing hundreds of people together in New York City, sponsors including Zoho and Microsoft and AT&T and Dell and so many big brands. I sold Dell TM $100,000 sponsorship. So I'll pause there. You didn't ask for all that, but that's kind of the journey. I started it because I wasn't anointed, not in a bad way, just they didn't pick me. So I said, screw it. I'll do my own darn event. And I sold it. TM, what you think?
I think you're a rock star, bro. And that's why we love to hear you, Ramon. You may not have been picked back then, but you are damn sure picked today. And it's because you decided to write that first book, right? I mean, pushing beyond your fear, creating your own stage, right? You said something that I think should not go over our heads. A lot of times we think because we're black, because we're white, because we're young, because we're old, right? And listen, it's none of that. And you have to ask questions. You got to get feedback because sometimes it's just because you're not prepared, right? It's just because you're not prepared. And so, yeah, you got to start somewhere. I love everything that Dr. Fred said earlier because that's where I started. Right. I wanted to learn. I understand publishing. I understand intellectual property. Right. I've been in entertainment for a long time. But the book writing piece is extremely important. Right. So that KDP resource that he mentioned, that Kindle Direct publishing account you need to open, he dropped all the gems. And Ramon just encouraged us. For anybody who's doubting themselves, feeling you aren't being picked, just start where you are. Right? Start where you are. Ramon, that was very inspiring, my guy. Back to you.
I love you, Tim. Thank you so much, brother. And can't wait to see you in Dallas at VWC Champions Business Conference, April 13 and 14. TM Hyman himself will be there. Team, I appreciate you, man. Jump in here any time. Hey, everybody, again, this is Breakfast with Champions. My name is Ramon Ray. We are live streaming on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, and of course into our main platform as of today, Clubhouse. We're here bringing to you motivation, education, inspiration with a dose of positivity to help you live your best life or grow your business. And I'm and TM and many others are glad you're here with us today. My name is Ramon Reagan, started 5 companies, sold 3 companies, authored 5 books and more. And we're here with Breakfast with Champions for the next 34 minutes. We will be together. I hope you've enjoyed this episode so far. We have a lot more in store for you today. Again, join us live, 5 a.m. programming for sure. And TM is so right. I think there's 2 reasons why oftentimes we may not be picked if it's helpful. There could be more. One reason could be negativity of others. We got, let's see who's on the live Clubhouse stage. We got, what's up, Dre? You got Dre Baldwin here. He's coming up at 8:30. We got Christina Howard. We got Sarah. We got so many others here, right? So let's just take Tina as an example. I won't use Tina. Well, yeah, I'll use Tina as an example. She has thick skin. She can take it. So let's say we take Tina. And I say, Tina, I'm not picking you, Tina, because you're just not good. You just not good at race car driving. You're just not, technically, Tina, you are just not a good race car driver. That may be very well true. Tina then is going to have to get better. She's just going to have to get better. That's a fact. Let's take another example. Let's say Tina is a pretty darn good race car driver, but let's say I'm the decision maker and I just don't like how Tina drives. Nothing personal with her. I just don't like her style of driving. I'm not going to pick her. That's not bad per se. Tina did nothing wrong. Tina's Tina. We just don't mesh. Or since I'm the decision maker, she doesn't get through the door if you feel that second reason. And that's the interesting part. Same with me as a speaker. Do you know how many speaking engagements come through my fingers? Ramon, we're interested in having you speak. I don't get them all. I'm rejected many times, but I don't take it as a rejection fully because I know the talent God's given me. There's a number of great speakers. Let's say it's me and Dr. Jeannie who are head to head. Let's say, Dr. Jeannie, what a beautiful, beautiful soul and amazing human she is. Dr. Jeannie's delivery, her style, her vibe, her spirit, her energy, it is completely different than Ramon's. And that's good. So let's say we're going up to do a UPS contract, AT&T, Microsoft, whatever big contract. Because they say no to Ramon and yes to Dr. Jeannie, that doesn't mean I'm bad. That just means they needed some Dr. Jeannie at that time. Ramon can hold his head high. Now, if they rejected Ramon because I had bad breath, they rejected Ramon because my hair wasn't good, that's another story. And then the third rejection, indeed, is somebody just a low down, dirty old bastard of a moron. They just didn't pick Ramon because they just don't like me. They just don't like whatever. They don't like white people like Dr. Jeannie. They don't like black folk like Ramon. They don't like whatever any of y'all is. You get my point. They just a terrible person. They just didn't like the jewelry Dr. Jeannie had or the jewelry or the shirt Ramon had. You feel me? So those are different types of rejection I think we can go through and do understand it. And either way, no matter how you're rejected, keep moving on because there's always room forward. As Dr. Alexandra Carter says, I'm going to hold up her book. Her book, Ask for More. Y'all are seeing this on the live stream here on the IG side, the other side. Ask for More. As Alexandra Carter says, sometimes a no saves you from a bad yes. As I go on in my career, and Gary Vaynerchuk and his team have asked me, yes, I'm very proud of that fact. I'm honored that Gary Vaynerchuk, the largest digital marketing brand in the world, that he knows my name, and he's asked me, Ramon, I want you to come to VCon and host it with me, with us, and a few other select speakers like that. There's a lot of speakers, but only a few people he's asked to host on the stage with him and meaning to help him extend the Gary V juice. I'm proud of that. But there's other opportunities where they will say no, and they'll say, you know what? We want Dre instead. We want TM instead. We want Dr. Jeannie instead. We want Christina instead, Dora instead, Sarah instead, Jeff instead, Star Tina. And talking about Dora Maria, I never heard Dora Maria speak before. Never heard her speak before until I was at Christina Howard's event. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something here. I'm going to tell y'all. I knew Dora Maria was amazing and smart. I knew that already. But I thought she was some like NASA geek engineer that just could speak in fractions and like slide rulers and like the people you leave in the back of the room, like when you need quantum physics to the 10th degree and to get to the moon to know how much hydrochloric oxide goes into the meta depth of the, like those kind of people. That's what I thought. I knew she was amazing, but I'm like, her brain is just way faster and smarter than mine. But I heard her speak. Dora Maria is a fantastic communicator too. Now, Dora's like, Ramon, please, bro. I knew that. Well, I didn't know it. And you don't know those things until you see people. And the other tip, get more seen, if that makes sense. I know it may be hard to do. Ramon, how do I get more seen if I'm not invited to the party? You get my point. But, we all make assumptions and biases about people. And I know Dora understands the spirit I say this. Thank you, Dora, for those emojis. I'm having some fun here. But I think that's the way it is with everybody. Assumptions we make, right? And I think we all can make assumptions about Dre, TM, Dr. Jeannie, Christina, Sarah, Jeff, Stars, Tina, Michelle, and our other hosts here. What's up, Natasha? Good to see you here. And so many Ramonas hanging with us. Appreciate y'all being here today. Tariq's down there. Appreciate y'all being here. So let me move on. We got about 28 minutes to go before the amazing Dre Baldwin comes up again. This is BWC, stands for Breakfast with Champions. We were going to name it Breakfast with Losers. We don't want to do that. This is Breakfast with Champions. Moving forward, so we talked about today, again, a recap, BWC Dallas, our big event coming up in Dallas. Well, it may not be big. It's not going to have 1,000 people. So big is contextual. But our amazing event coming up in BWC Dallas, bwcdaily.com/Dallas23, featuring Yvonne Kistner, avocados from Mexico, her multi-billion-dollar campaign, what that means for us businesses. Chas Wilson, one of the foremost experts on networking, many of our BWC hosts and more. I talked about Kim Walsh Phillips' brand new book coming out, The Shift, Scale Your Business and Multiply Your Wealth Without Sacrificing You. We talked about Mr. Chu, the president of TikTok, the amazing, I felt, amazing testifying to Congress that he had. I want to touch on here. I'm going to record this here. Let's see how to record. The power of email marketing. I want to touch on that. I promised that I would do this before I knew I was going to fill in for Alexander today. The power of email marketing. I find that email marketing is an underutilized weapon by many smaller business owners. There's so much focus on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, Facebook Live, Clubhouse, and more, that I believe email marketing sometimes is the underutilized weapon, underutilized tool that should be mentioned more. This is one of the bedrocks that I talk about in my book, Celebrity CEO. And of course, one of the 9 elements we talk about in our Celebrity CEO coaching program. And I invite you to take a look at that at celebrityceo.com/coaching. celebrityceo.com/coaching. I'd love to know your input on this. We're in beta, and we've been working with some amazing people. Dr. Jeannie's in that program, Dr. Fred's in that program, and probably some others that I can't come to mind right now. Others have invested in that, and I thank you for that, including Dora and others. And we walk you through 9 key principles of how you can be the celebrity in your marketplace to build more trust, build more awareness, which equals having more sales. I'm a firm believer that many people want sales. Many people want sales. Absolutely, Pastor Jeff. But we believe that people should first be getting trust. And before they get trust, they need to get attention. They need to get attention. And email marketing is one of the most powerful ways that people can do that. And so I wanted to give about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to invite Pastor Jeff to share some things with us, but about 5-10 minutes to touch on email marketing, the power of email marketing for your business, because I believe it's underutilized. And if you haven't yet received my Celebrity CEO Blueprint, please get that. It's free. CelebrityCEO.com. You can just go to CelebrityCEO.com, download the free blueprint. But I invite you also to look at the Celebrity CEO coaching program that we will be launching in full soon. But if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you can take a sneak peek of that and sign up today if you like. So why is email marketing so powerful? One, as you're beginning to decide if email marketing is for you, ask yourself, who is it for? Who are you writing the email for? Who is the email for? What do you want them to learn? What do you want them to get out of it? Why should they sign up for your email and not somebody else's? That's number one. Is the email you're writing worth their attention? I have several email newsletters that I do. We have zoneofgenius.com email newsletter that comes out every Sunday, which is a summary of the blog posts that go on zoneofgenius.com. We have a BWC daily email newsletter, which I'll probably, I think as I'm saying this, change to weekly, because we first envisioned it to have content from all of our hosts going out 8 times, eight fresh articles a day. That's shifted. So I may have that go weekly to be a bit more impactful. So we have our BWC email. And then there's the Ramon Ray email that I send out every Thursday at 2 p.m. And you can sign up for that at RamonRay.com, RamonRay.com. You can sign up for that at my email and other emails we send in between. So decide who it's for. I'm crystal clear on who the emails that I send, who they're for. They're people like you. Oh, thank you. Wine Chick is here. Great segment, Ramon. You're the best at hosting. I say you're great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate it. So who's it for? And I'm very clear on who our audience is. These are fellow coaches and consultants and authors and speakers, often solo business owners, often working from home offices who are serving audiences. Many of us have hired a VA or a online business manager in our businesses to help grow it. But this is the audience who we serve. So who's it for? What's going to be in your email newsletter? Is it going to be informative? Is it going to be funny? Is it going to be more serious? Is it going to be tips? Dr. Fred Jones has an amazing email newsletter. I'm in his email newsletter. Dre Bolton has an amazing email newsletter. And many of you have email newsletters. Michelle McClain, she promotes her segments and she has an email newsletter or she does social media. And I see that's a good thing. She does so much content. I'm not even sure I'm seeing it, but I see her name all over my face. This is a good thing. What's your email newsletter going to be about? The Ramon Ray email newsletter, it's about 80% business content because that's my promise to my audience. And about 20%, I get a little personal. I talk about where my tire blew out on the highway, a lesson I learned from that. I talk about my wife sometimes, talk about my kids sometimes. But generally speaking, there's a lesson learned for you. Email marketing is powerful. Your email newsletter should have a good headline to capture attention. People know what's inside of it. And the 3 pillars of the Celebrity CEO framework: attention, trust, and sales. Attention, trust, and sales. The email newsletter is that trust, because once someone's on your email list, if you're doing your job right, you build a trust with them at every edition of the newsletter that you send out. This is why email marketing is so darn powerful. And if you're not sending a consistently good email newsletter, you are failing yourself. And if you want tips, by the way, in email marketing, just email me, DM me, contact me, put the word email marketing in there somewhere so I'll know. You could DM me on Instagram, Ramon Ray Smart Hustle. You could DM me on any of the platforms, or email me is my super channel's email, Ramon@RamonRay.com, Ramon@RamonRay.com. Just email me email marketing tips or something like that, and I'll send that to you. So have a good headline. Know who your audience is and deliver what you promised. This is what a good email is about. It's not so much about selling your stuff. Now, you can sell your stuff. I have no problem. I've been saying it several times a week. Attend the Dallas Champions Business Conference in Dallas, Texas, April 13 and 14, bwcdaily.com/Dallas23. I've said that many times. I don't mind doing that. Why? Because I provide intense value as well in my emails. I've earned the right to do that. And if people want to unsubscribe, as I've learned from Haley Hobson, and others, I was probably sending too little email. If I'm not sending enough value in my email newsletter that you want to hear from Ramon, shame on me. Shame on me. So email marketing is powerful. And the other ninja tip I'll tell you, and again, I can walk over these details a lot slower in the Celebrity CEO coaching program where we pour into these things in detail, is marketing automation. Whether you use Keep, Klaviyo, Kajabi, MailChimp, Constant Contact, HubSpot, doesn't matter. It matters in a way, but it doesn't matter as long as you use the tool Zoho. Marketing automation campaign will help you to automate and scale your email so you're not running behind like a dog chasing a car on a winter day with 2 legs tied behind his back, and the car is a Ferrari, and it's dark at night, and the dog can't see, and there's a 50-pound weight on the dog's neck. That sounds morbid, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But the point being, if you're not doing your email right, you're doing a disservice to yourself. So email marketing is powerful, and it starts on your website. Do you have a little box there? You can go to BWC Daily and see it. You can go to RamonRay.com and see it. You can go to CelebrityCEO.com and see it. Any of my platforms. Don't just put sign up for our email newsletter, but give people a reason. Give people a why. Thank you. Mary Kim says, I think it's Mary Kim says, yeah, just read an article on email marketing with the top 3 tools, essentials per day. Thank you for the ideas to embrace it. Always appreciate your value and tools to grow each one of us. Thank you, Mary Kim. I appreciate you. So email marketing is powerful. And I suggest and beg you, the challenge I have for you, and we're going to be having a whole challenge on this later on, is email marketing. Email marketing, blogging, a good website, social media. Those are 4 things I encourage every business owner to consider doing, if not all 4. And then the rest is part of our Celebrity CEO framework. Should you have a book or not? Maybe. Should you do an event or not? Maybe. Should you get publicity or not? Maybe. Should you have your own show or not? Maybe. Other things can happen. But if you're wondering why people say Ramon is everywhere, in my perfect customers' minds? Because I am everywhere for them, because I'm adding intense value and I've earned the right for that. This is the game we're playing. I'm going to stop my recording here. I was recording my notes. Oh, it stopped automatically. Don't know why it did. That's fine. Let me pause on the Clubhouse side, this aspect about email marketing. And again, you don't have to jump in. You don't have to unmic. It's no problem. I do this for you. So on the Clubhouse side, anybody wants to unmic, ask me a question or talk about email marketing, this is your time. If not, I'm going to go on for another 15 minutes before we have the amazing Dre Baldwin come on down. Who wants to unmic and say your name?
Hey, Ramon is Pastor.
Hey, Pastor Jeff. All you, brother.
Yeah, FYI, it's another rainy day in Georgia. Second, this is not about email marketing, but I wanted to say, TM pushed your button. I'm so glad you pushed my button, reminded me of not getting chosen when I was a child, especially when the kids would be out playing football or whatever. And then the one time I get chosen, it was a shame. Oh, I got chosen because I needed to make the teams even, right, Ramon?
Oh.
And then I caught the ball. They actually threw the ball to me. See, I didn't get picked because we didn't often get to play. So they didn't have a track record. They wanted to win. And at one time they threw the ball. I caught it. And I looked up and there my dad was. I paid dearly. I had to go in. I got a beating. But look, what I wanted to share was in the military, Ramon Ray, we were taught something. You talked about that preparation. It's 6 words that will change your life. I guarantee it. 6 words, Ramon. Do you want to hear those 6 words, Ramon?
Yes, sir.
The 6 words were poor planning. Prior planning. Prior planning prevents pathetically poor performance. Those 6 words will change your life. Prior planning prevents pathetically poor performance. That's all I wanted to say, Ramon. Thank you.
And Pastor Jeff, thank you so much for sharing that. Pastor Jeff, let me ask you a follow-up question on that. Again, this gets a bit personal, as we're talking our life, right? It seems like many of us have been rejected or worse in our life. And thank you, Pastor Jeff, for being so vulnerable with your full story. But Pastor Jeff, what is the balance, Pastor Jeff, between, especially as adults, let's say, between wanting to win? Me and Pastor Jeff are the aces on the team. We have to crush our sales. We got 3 more days, Pastor Jeff, to make the sales. And let's say on our team is, Pastor Jeff, who can we pick on? Who do we pick on? Let's pick on Dre, because Dre can handle it. Let's say Dre's on our team. Let's make it better. Dre and Pastor Jeff are on the team. Dre and Pastor Jeff are the best. Ramon is just not so good. How do we blend, Pastor Jeff, the aspect of Dre and Pastor Jeff, understandably, assuming they're good, decent people? If Ramon's, on the team, as it were, you get what I'm trying to say here, they'll lose. They won't hit the numbers, but yet they don't want to hurt Ramon. Ramon's a soul. Ramon's a human. He's human, but yet he's there. And if he's there, they're not going to make their numbers, as it were. Play along with me here. What does Dre or Pastor Jeff do to not hurt Ramon, but to make their numbers? And or should they say, for the sake of the team, Ramon, we love you. We're going to have to ask you to sit out this one so the company can make its numbers, if you get what I'm saying. Play with me, Dr. Pastor Jeff. What do you say to that situation?
Well, I'm going to lean on an old expert, and that was Stephen Covey. And he would say, create a win-win situation. You see, sometimes when we look at the bullseye on the target, we leave out those who need to be trained to hit it. So if we can hit the target, that leaves us room for improvement. So Dre and Pastor Jeff, if they're going to create a win-win situation with Ramon, will bring Ramon along with them. We'll build you up where you are weak, and we will maximize on what you're strong. That's my thoughts.
Oh, that's powerful, brother. That is powerful. Thank you. You create a win-win situation. Pastor Jeff, I've had to do this at my church. Let me know if I did this right, Pastor Jeff. And if I did it wrong, feel free to say, Ramon, nope, not right. But at my church, I was, for a big church convention, thousands of people, I was in charge of shuttling people around the college campus. We rented things of this nature. Point being, there was a young man out there. He was doing his best to kind of do what he was doing, but he was screaming at people, Pastor Jeff. I walked outside by 11 o'clock at night. Get back, big. He's screaming to people. I told you, stand, blah, 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 blah. I said, young man, thank you for your energy. And I know you got the security vest on and you all in it and you want people to be safe. But when you speak firm, but let's not yell at people like they cattle or they dogs. I wanted to pull him off, but I said, no, the dude's only 18, 21, 13, however old he was. he needs some training. So as Pastor Jeff, is that kind of ish create a win-win, create a winning situation? So I don't embarrass him. So I train him, I teach him, and I still have someone good on my team because it seemed like Pastor Jeff in the end, he was coachable. Am I picking up what you're putting down, Pastor Jeff?
Absolutely. You see, if you had stopped him, it would have been a win for you, but a loss for him because he was coachable, he was teachable, and you used that moment. I believe that young man went home feeling proud of himself. He just had to make an adjustment, not kicked off the team, just make an adjustment. Sometimes the coach tells you to run the wrong play, and you have to don't kick you out of the game, just give you a play that you can excel on. Back to you, Ramon.
Pastor Jeff, I appreciate that so much. Again, everybody, welcome to Breakfast with Champions. That was Pastor Jeff on the clubhouse side. If you're hearing the sound of his voice and you're on Instagram, if you're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, we are live streaming a multiple of ways to multiple of platforms because that is just what I do. And we got 11 minutes to go before Dre Baldwin comes up next with his amazing fire segment today. I don't even know what the topic's going to be about, but whatever the topic is about, it's going to be amazing. And if anybody else wants to join, by the way, just on mic. I hear something, so it could be just me, but I'm going to keep rolling on in case.
Ramon,
Yes, go.
what should be the mix between inspiration, education, and offer when you're doing email marketing? What's the mix?
Woo, that is a good question. I'd love to know your response to this. Inspiration, education, I think it was an offer. Here's my 2 cents, Pastor Jeff. But again, I probably need to do better in it. I do less of the offer. That's just how God made me. My son's a bit different. I'm not the hard-nosed charging sales guy, if you know what I mean. And Dr. Fred, stay with me for a bit here. I want your feedback on this. So the offer, though,
Sure.
has to be made. You have to make the offer. Has to be made. So I don't know the percentage yet, but I'm going to work backwards. But I do think the information, the more informative you are, the more people will be willing to read what you're saying, and the more they'll trust you. So I over-index on being informative, but I know Ramon's learning, Dr. Fred, to be more offering because that's who I'm going to grow my business. So I'm going to leave out the third one just to make it simpler, but I think that I can over-index on serving so much and teaching so much, I forget to make the offer enough. That's what I'm learning more through some things I'm doing. So, but what do you think, Dr. Fred? Pour into us and let me know what you think.
Yeah. Okay, so inspiration, people can get that anywhere, right? They get inspired all the time across these networks. Okay, information, education, that's where you stand in your zone of genius, right? So you educate. But oftentimes, I think we think making an offer is not sexy. But if you really believe in your product, your program, and your service, you're doing your audience a disservice if you don't offer. So I'm thinking there should be some kind of mixture there between 60-40 or 60-20. I don't know, but there's got to be a formula. What do you think, Ramon?
Oh, no, I agree with you. And I think that's what, tell you the truth, Dr. Fred, as you may know, we've shared a few things, but that's what I'm learning. And I'm going to hold up a book right now. I've been in Lamar Tyler's Traffic Sales and Profit Program. Point is, I'm learning to make the offer more because I have been one due to some things I've seen in the past and et cetera, right? At like sales. But I'm now learning, Dr. Fred, that if I built trust, if you need what I'm offering and I believe it's the best, make the offer. Make the offer. So yes, you are 100% right in that, Dr. Fred, for sure.
Ramon, can I hop in really quick?
Absolutely, dear.
This is Stars Tina. So let me tell you, when I came in here and I saw your offer at the top, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Ramon is coaching. And then I hit up Angeline because I know you do the Monday night. So I have to agree with you. You don't really put yourself out there for sales. And I love how you and Dr. Fred, I notice as well, are always giving information. It's like BWC, you go on your website, you go on your YouTube channel. So thank you for this. And yes, sell.
And you're right. And Tina, taking a look at yourself, right? You and I have had some private conversations about people in my life, right? And they need help. They need help. So to Dr. Fred's point, other points of people we've heard from, Hermosi talks about that. This is not some, what's up? Oh, thank you. This is not some get rich quick people. Once you trust people and you know they have a solution for you, Tina, to your point, that means the ladies who are not working with Tina on their mindset and their physical health, they are hurting themselves and their family, Tina. Am I correct?
1000%.
Appreciate that, Tina. I just want to tell you again, I think I told you today on your show when you were on your show, just that amazing. When you roll, you bring a tribe, Tina. So thank you for what you do. We got about 8 minutes to go. We've heard
Hey,
from
Ramon.
some. Please go ahead.
Yes, Pastor Jeff again. Have you ever heard of this guy called Ben Yahweh, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ? Have you ever heard him?
I have.
Well, I think I remember that he would make soft offers and he would make hard offers. So the offers were there. And I think if he could make offers, then Ramon Ray could make offers. Some if I could show you value, or if I can create a win-win situation for you, if I educate and you're making it, the if I is a soft offer, and you continue on and you're fulfilling each soft offer till you get to your hard offer. That's what we used when I was selling cars at Honda Cars of Aiken here in the Augusta, Georgia area. That's CSRA, as we call it. So I believe, as Dr. Fred said, that you can get inspiration anywhere. The wheelhouse or the zone of genius, especially for you, is in the education, but through the education, uh, blend it in, weave it with soft offers. So when you get to the hard offer, you've already built them up. They're ready to say, yes, where do I sign for coaching with Dr. Ramon Ray? Back to you, Ramon.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, Pastor Jeff. Thank you. Y'all are too much. About 5 more minutes. Dre Baldwin's coming up. Listen, here's the bottom line. When I got fired from the United Nations, I had to change how I was doing business because I was doing business as a side hustle. I had to get attention for my brand, and I had to build trust. I had to turn the free stuff I was doing into money, and I had to grow my business. I had to feed my family. Years later, yes, as I said, been on stages with Seth Godin, Gary Vaynerchuk, been on a number of media opportunities and more. And I find that one of the biggest challenges with many smaller business are, especially authors, coaches, consultants, and others, they don't have enough visibility. They are the hidden secret. They're not known. Celebrity CEO, I encourage you to get the blueprint. Celebrity CEO is all about how you can get more attention for your business, how you can get more trust in your business, which ultimately will generate sales. I didn't sell the 3 things I had just, it just happened. There was a reason behind it. So if you're a coach, if you're an author, if you're a consultant, if you're a speaker, and you've been hearing the sound about it, you're like, Ramon, I think you got something there that I need. I invite you to look at Celebrity CEO Coaching. Yes, the price is going to go up for sure. We're in beta right now. We've been working with a few amazing humans for the last several weeks, but you definitely want to check out celebrityceo.com/coaching, celebrityceo.com/coaching. What's up,
I'm
Marvin?
so glad to be a part of the foundation level of this program, and I'm excited to be a part of the Celebrity CEO program. I just jumped in. Ramon did not ask me to say this or anything like that, but I've been in coaching for a long time, almost 10 years now, and I have invested hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in coaching, and I make no apologies for that. But what I'm getting in Celebrity CEO is as good and better than some of the programs that I've paid $25,000 and $30,000 for. So if you're in this room and you're thinking about joining a mastermind and becoming a part of a program, you would be not so smart if you don't hurry up and get into this program at this stage. Thank you, Ramon, for giving me a moment to share this. And I just wanted to do that because I owe it to everybody in here to tell you that I found something of great price and of great value. And I'm honored to be a part of it. Thank you, Ramon.
Okay, Dr. Fred, I'm going to join. I'm already there. I'm going to join.
Dr. Fred, thank you for those kind of
Yes.
words. Dr. Jeannie, thank you for your emoji. I see that. Thank you all so much. I appreciate that. And yes, I've enjoyed doing it. Dr. Fred, you don't even know this yet. We have so much more we're pouring it into and adding it because one of the things I do is getting attention, helping people with that. So what we're building now is not just a Celebrity CEO coaching for Ramon to coach people in this, but I'm bringing together my whole crew my people, and to get also help those who are joining into this, especially at the mastermind level, the publicity for it. You've had a small taste of it, Dr. Fred, meaning the second level, things that I haven't even announced publicly yet. But Dr. Fred, we're going. But Dr. Fred, thank you for saying that, man. Thank you for that unsolicited word. I appreciate it very much. And
Quick
yes.
question, Ramon, about your coaching program. I understand it's Monday nights. Someone told me that. What if you're not able to make it Monday nights? Are the replays just as good?
Sure. Well, two things we're offering, Tina. And I think you're forcing me you're forcing me, Tina, to force my hand and to share some private stuff. I'm going to do it right now. Here's where it's going, Tina. There's live coaching on Monday nights, about 30-minute course or class of something. But the gem of it is to go in there and ask questions about your business. That's one. Number two, what's being created right now, which we're building the roadmap, is there will be other coaching sessions in there as well. That's number two. Number three, yes, there are the recorded sessions in there. And then number four is, of course, the discussion board. Number five are the events and other online experiences that we have planned and bundling into that. So one, live coaching with Ramon. Number two, live coaching with other. Number three, 24/7 discussion board. That's what's there. And of course, yes, every session is recorded.
And this is in Mighty Networks, correct?
That is correct. Hosted by Mighty Network, celebrityco.com/coaching. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm in there. That's
wow. If Tina's in there, that means it's a good day. Listen, Dre Bolden, if you're ready, brother, flash your mic or just call 3 times, or you can just say, I'm ready. That's simpler too. But I know we got about 2 more minutes. Dre could be burping his baby. He could be putting some formula or something in the bottle. He could be doing a number of things. But Dre, when you're ready, let me know.
I actually am doing that. That's exactly what I was doing. I was finishing my protein shake. Give me a minute. Ramon.
Take your time, brother. It's all good. Listen, everybody, this has been Ramon Ray. It's been good to be here with you all today. I've been going live for 90 minutes, a rarity, but I'm glad I get to do this thanks to the team. You know, again, Alexander could not be here, so I jumped in at the last minute, just in a mad scramble. I hope this was useful for you. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, put that in the comments that it was useful for you. It's been great to be here and serve you. And this is Breakfast with Champions. Where are we going with this? We have the BWC event, Champions Business Conference in Dallas. We may do more events like this. We have our amazing hosts. My job is to uplift TM, to uplift Tina, to uplift Christina, Dora, and others of our hosts who have said, Dr. Jeannie, yes, also, yes, our new host, I forget. She's a host as well. Uplift our host. Number 3, uplift our community. Even if you don't have a regular segment on the BWC platform, you are a valued member of this community, because without you, there would be no community. That's my job. As the one who owns and is leading Breakfast with Champions, Glenn founded it. He's given this to me. My job is to continue to take this movement forward, because there are people who need to hear the sound of our voice. There are people who are hurting right now. Somebody who is abused, somebody who has trauma, somebody who wants to commit suicide, somebody who's depressed, somebody who can't grow their business, somebody who didn't hear the I love you enough, somebody whose daddy didn't love him, father didn't love him, somebody who had a jacked up life in some way who needs to hear what we're hearing. Because as I know, we are a group of misfits who are all here together, healed or going through healing by God's grace. And this community has helped me. It's helped my marriage. It's helped my life. I wake up better. I'm eating better because of this community, and I owe it. And I know that Dr. Jeannie and Christina and Michelle and Ramona and Nivea and Dr. Fred and others would agree. We owe it to you. Marvin's here to continue forward each and every single day. Listen, everybody, my name is Ramon Ray. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I bring the mic to Dre Baldwin. If you need a bit more time.
Here I am. Cool. I am here. What's going on, Ramon? Thank you for that 90-minute segment. No, it was a marathon for you. Appreciate your time and attention.